So, it's my first video from home. Welcome. Welcome to my wood furnished and mostly wood surrounded home. Wood is the subject of my talk about global warming. It is a scare tactic used by progressives to have people conform to their big government agenda. Now, some people don't realize that that's their agenda, and they're true environmentalists who, frankly, get manipulated by the Marxists, by the progressives. Do environmentalism for its own sake, not for somebody else's. And when somebody's telling you that global warming is a huge threat that we must take big measures to counteract, they're in favor of these big measures, often because they stymie capitalism. Please remember that when you do that, you hurt third world development. You keep people poor in third world countries. The best preserver of our environments, wood, for example, is capitalism. Because it is capitalism that puts money, a premium, on growing wood. We are not anywhere near extinct of trees. Why not? Because there's money in planting and raising and then harvesting those trees. Otherwise, we'd be out by now. The capitalist incentive is what creates preservation and, in fact, growth. There are actually more trees in America now than at any time since aerial photography was invented. By the way, who takes care of the environment better? A government-directed economy or a private-directed? Compare Canada to the Soviet Union. Canada preserves things very well. The Soviet Union, there's a lot of trash, there's a lot of despoiled, there's a lot of browned out lands because people didn't have direct ownership. It's come back a little bit since the fall of the Soviet Union. Bigger contrast, United States versus China. We're about the same size. United States has beautiful properties when they're in private hands. China has despoiled rivers, lakes that you wouldn't want to swim in. It's not even close. America has had an improved environment for the last 40 years. And it's not because of EPA, it's because of technology that can clean things up better. Please don't be scared of global warming. It is overwhelmed by a single act of God. Okay, a 3-degree rise over a generation. That's the worst at the outset. That's the worst estimate we have. It doesn't come anywhere near what would happen with 2 volcanoes within a year of each other. Okay, that would be a global cooling of probably 5 degrees. We saw that in my lifetime when Mount St. Helens erupted. We saw global cooling of about 2 degrees, and it lasted for 5 years before we came out of it. Man-made global warming is not necessarily true. By the way, if it were, you wouldn't need scientists faking data like they did to try to show that there was global warming. We have other fights to fight. And in case the temperature rises 1 degree in a decade, it's 57 instead of 58. Hardly noticeable, but to the extent it is, we are good at making technology to have better clothing, to have better air conditioning. We have people who come to Connecticut from Texas. They experience not 1 degree in a decade, but 30 degrees in a 30-day span, okay? They handle it fine. We humans can handle, even if there is anthropomorphic global warming, we're up to the task of saving ourselves, saving our lifestyles, and yes, saving the plants and animals around us. Thank you for coming to my home. I am Stewart Greenstein. Good night.